A mother's love can't be explained. Alzirene Lopez never stopped loving her son Nathan, even when it seemed he didn't deserve it.
O meu filho, desde criança, ele já tinha uma inclinação porque era ruim.
Since he was a little boy, he always had this drive to do what was wrong. I don't know where this drive to do wrong came from. At 8, he'd secretly take his grandfather's cigarettes and smoke them.
I saw older people smoking. My grandpa would fall asleep with a lit cigarette. And so I'd take it out back and secretly smoke it.
As he grew and grew, things just got worse. At 12, he started using cocaine.
Ele começou a usar cocaína.
Às vezes já cheguei também a experimentar assim crack.
I experimented with crack, with alcohol too, liquor, beer, wine. I accepted whatever people offered me.
Aí eu morava num apartamento.
I sold the apartment I lived in because I thought the problem was the neighborhood, the people we lived around, his friends. Maybe another place would be better. So I sold that apartment and bought a small house in another city, far from my family, far from everybody, just so I could help him. But the first time I asked him to go out to buy some bread, he came back high on drugs.
Drogado.
Eu me tornei monstro, porque
I turned into a monster because I didn't feel sorry for anybody. I beat people up, threatened to kill them. I robbed, took things from home and sold them. I lied, I hustled people. I took all kinds of shortcuts and didn't care who I hurt.
Eu não me importava, na verdade, se eu causava sofrimento nas pessoas.
O que sobrou do apartamento?
I had over $10,000 left from the sale of the apartment, so I used it to help him. I thought, he just needs to be kept busy. I'll open a business for him, he'll start working and see that other people have problems too, and all this will pass. That business got me into more debt than ever. One day I went there and it had been abandoned. Nobody was there. It was open but abandoned. The debts just kept growing until I had to close it.
Eu tive que fechar, passar para frente o ponto.
Deep down I wanted to change, but I couldn't find a way out. I didn't know how. So I told myself, since there's no solution, I'd just keep myself calm by using drugs. And then I started using even more drugs. I just kept on being the person I'd learned to be.
Então, a igreja eu conheci através de livro.
I learned about the church through a book. My son had basically become a beggar. But after I read that book, I said, God, this has to be spiritual. My son has a serious problem. Well, it was from the Universal Church, so I said, that's where I'm going.
Cheguei na igreja em setembro e a Fogueira Santa começou em dezembro.
I came to the church in September, and the campaign of Israel was in December of that year. And when the pastor talked about faith and the sacrifice of faith, that we needed to materialize our pain on the altar for God, that God needed to see it, I said, I'm going to do that. I had nothing left to lose. All my money had vanished. All I had left was money to admit him a second time into a rehab clinic. That was our fight. I always said, I'm going to put you into a clinic far away.
De todo jeito, a gente tem que investir em alguma coisa.
In everything in life, we have to invest. And I had invested so much to help my son. I didn't invest just to invest. I wanted to solve the problem. When I invested in medicine, I'd ask what it was, how much I had to pay, what I had to do. I put all my energy into it, and I believed it would work. But nothing worked. When I heard the pastor, I decided to sacrifice what I had. If the altar works, instead of putting him in a rehab, I'll put him on the altar.
Ele vai ficar internado aqui.
And so I went up to the altar, I got my envelope, and I came back down different. I should have come down from the altar full of worries, but I came down happy. But that next week, the problems came. In the week I was going to make my sacrifice, my son broke the rules and assaulted someone in my neighborhood, and you can't assault someone in my neighborhood. The gang boss told me, I don't want money anymore. I want his life. He said, either buy a coffin or go hide your son. I left crying. But by the time I got home, I was in revolt. I said, God, now I'm going to do even more. I'm going to bury him on the altar too.
Enterrar ele aqui também.
I picked up the phone, called a funeral parlor, and said these words exactly. How much is a coffin? I need to bury my son tomorrow.
Enterrar o meu filho amanhã.
She said that the cheapest was $500, and so I said, okay, I'm going to add that amount to what I'm putting on the altar.
O altar.
I was full of strength when I came down from there. In January, the month that I determined the miracle would happen, he went with me to church every day. He went every day.
My mother did the campaign of Israel for me. At first, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that there was an answer. I didn't believe the testimonies. But then I started to be certain that it was all true. I decided to start coming to this church and do everything they were telling me to do, and that the same thing was going to happen to me. If other people changed, I would too.
The altar was my guarantee that he would be healed. He's loving, determined. Now he has dreams. So beautiful that my son now has dreams, because before he had no dreams.
Ele era menino que não tinha sonho.
He'd always say to me, I'm going to set this house on fire with me inside. Once he said he was going to be in the newspaper headlines for killing us all. He had had so much hatred that he couldn't stand to see anybody happy. But today, he's full of life.
Ele é menino que é cheio de vida.
Today I have a job. I help out financially at home. Today I don't have those old problems anymore. I live happily with my mother and family. I have plans. And the best of all isn't just my plans, because after I'd been healed, I decided that I wanted to know the God who healed me. And today I've been baptized in the Holy Spirit, and my dream has come true. I live 24/7 with the one who saved me.
Eu vivo 24 horas com esse que salvou a minha vida.
Today we're friends. We're partners. My son is my friend.
I have everything I always wanted, but could never find.
Absolutely, the campaign of Israel really worked in my life.